I'm TK.
And I'm Earl, and we've been living in our RV full-time for 6 months now.
Actually 7.
Okay, yeah, actually 7. And we have some questions that have been submitted through Facebook and Instagram on how everything has been going. And then we're going to fill you in on some more information on us in our full-time living.
Some updates since our last Q&A.
Thank you to everybody who have already subscribed to our channel. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe below and follow along on our adventures. We really appreciate you all.
So first, we have a question from my cousin Orisha from Instagram. She asks what our favorite location is. And there are a couple ways we could look at this. I thought, you go first.
My favorite location, it's kind of a toss-up because I really liked being on the Mississippi River at Tom Sawyer's RV Park. But I think Lake Medina RV Resort was probably my favorite because there's just such a nice outdoorsy place. There were deer outside all over there. You know, like you come out first thing in the morning, there's deer out there.
Like they're known for that.
Yeah.
It's in all their pictures on Google and everything too.
Yep. Plus they had a nice pool and nice hot tub, and the amenities there were really nice.
Yeah, that was our first hot tub experience. I fell in love with hot tub. So my favorite park was in Tucson. It was Diamond J's RV Park. I had to think about it for a second. I loved that park because there was a path leading right from the park that actually led into a system of paths, and it even connected to a state park. So we walked pretty frequently. We didn't do it daily, but we got a lot of walks in that way. I got at least one chance to go to the state park, and we actually took a further path out into the mountains. That was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of scrambling, Max scrambling at that one. And also the woman who was the hostess there was just the sweetest woman I think I've ever met. Not just in any RV park or during our RV experience, just in my whole lifetime. Really, really kind. When we got there, she even gave us a discount on our rate because it wasn't quite a monthly rate, but it was pretty close. So she gave us something close to the monthly rate. And she left us with egg rolls on our last day. She dropped some off for us. It really, really felt special at the park with her.
Yeah, those Vietnamese egg rolls were delicious. I love those.
And my favorite location-y place was Camp Verde because it was central to a lot of great spots. We enjoyed places within Camp Verde. We went to Copper Canyon. We also went to Sedona and checked out a lot of the vortexes there. We went to the Grand Canyon. We actually had my dad visit at that time because we thought this is the perfect vacation for him. And Strawberry close by had Fossil Creek, which was a very scenic mountain hike that ended in a waterfall.
A little grotto that was right next to the waterfall too. You can kind of go swim in, so that was really cool.
Yeah, we had some good shots of that.
Jerome.
Jerome, I always forget that one. Nice little
old mining town.
Old mining town. Yeah, really cute buildings and nice plaques that showed how the town used to be. Really cool, great art gallery.
High elevation up in the mountains in Arizona, and just this little small town. I think the population is only 200 right now. So
yeah, something crazy like that.
Like booming town back when there was a bunch of copper mining going on, and then now just down to 200. But really cool town and really great barbecue place.
My favorite national park was definitely Big Bend, no contest for me, because we stayed right in the park. We had walking paths, right out of the RV. Unfortunately, because of COVID, hot springs there were closed, but there's so much else to see. There was a beautiful Rio Grande overlook walkway right by us there, and then we went to what was it, Chisos Basin is what it was called. We were there quite a bit, just going on different trails, and we'll have a video about that goes. Well, actually, I think we're gonna do a series of videos on Big Bend because that was such a big deal for us, and we got so many good experiences there.
Big deal, Big Bend.
Big deal, Big Bend. I like that. So our next question was from our Facebook page from Jean. Actually, she had 2 questions for us. So the first question she had for us was, what was the biggest surprise for us?
Biggest surprise for me would probably be how quickly we've adjusted to the RV life. And we used to have a ton of things in our house, and we've had to downsize a lot.
And I thought I was a minimalist. There's still a bunch of junk we had to get rid of.
Yeah, we still do have some things at our family members' houses.
Sentimental.
And Ninja Turtles. So
sentimental.
Yeah.
I have our big picture frame of the picture that I took in Canada, which ended up being the location where we got engaged. There's just obviously we could not put that here. So my dad's holding onto that. Things like that. Piggybacking off of that, I would have to say I'm most surprised by how things have gone better than I expected them to. The first thing that immediately comes to mind is the cat litter box. I thought this was going to be such a hassle trying to find a place for the litter box, and we just happened to have a model that was available to us that we fell in love with, not the original model we chose, that has a second bathroom. So we were able to perfectly wedge the litter box that we had in that bathroom. We don't really use it. But we don't really use it. It's mostly like a little room for the cat litter box, and the walls are pretty high enough. The dogs can't get into the litter box. We are still figuring out, if there's a little bit of drop off, getting the dogs to stay away from that. But that was easy. I thought that was going to be a big deal. And then also booking parks. I thought it was going to be a pain, finding parks that are pet friendly, and I was all worried about having a second car and if we're going to have space for that. We've never had an issue so far on finding a place for our other car. Like, there were either extra visitor parking places that they said we could use, or we just fit it in our space.
The spaces have been pretty big, so that's been really nice.
To the point where we're surprised now if the space is small. We've been spoiled. The other question that we have from Jean is there anything that we regret bringing or that we wish we had brought in our life here in the rig?
I wouldn't say there's anything that I regret taking with, because we pretty much did downsize quite a bit to the things that we knew we would need. But I wish that we would have bought bikes and a bike rack. We had bikes and they were kind of old, and probably could use some new ones. So if I could have brought anything else, I probably would have brought bikes, because getting out and exercising and hitting some of the trails on the bikes would be just phenomenal. Really good time.
It's on our list.
Yep.
For me, my regrets center probably around office supplies. Like, really, I'm pretty happy with how things worked out with transitioning in, but I do have too many office supplies. I'm pretty proud of myself because I used to be a teacher and I'm still a tutor, so I have majorly downsized in that area. But I do have a lot of notebook pads, and I think I still have 2 staplers. For some reason, I can't get rid of the extra stapler, and I don't think I've ever used it since living in this RV. So at some point, I think I just have to give up some of those things and accept that I can buy it if I need to. Also, not having a printer on the other end of things, I regret a little bit. It's worked out. We did not keep our printer because our printer was really large and bulky and heavy, and it would have been a disaster to bring it with us. We ended up selling it on, I think, a Facebook Marketplace. So that worked out nicely. But there have been a couple times where we really needed something printed, particularly when we were wrapping things up with selling the house. A little bit, I think, with tax season. But we have made that work still. So I'm still pretty happy with how we manage things with what we have.
So now we'd like to cover some updates since our last Q&A. We have really gotten very good at the setup and teardown process. I think we're getting pretty close to maybe 20-30 minutes for setup and...
That's like our best.
Yeah.
That's our best.
Yeah. We back into the spot and then unhook and then put all the slides out and make sure everything's secure on the inside, nothing fell, nothing broke, and then take the animals out. We're getting pretty good at that now.
I think we rarely have anything important fall.
Yeah, we did have one case where something fell behind one of the slides and tore some of the framing off of the slide, and it just kind of like pried it back a little bit and detached, so it's not that big of a deal. Nothing that a couple of like small nails driven in there won't take care of, you know. But
we learned fast.
Yeah.
That was near the beginning of when we started, but we learned.
So making sure, yeah, things are all clear, and before we send out the slides, make sure there's nothing tucked and hidden away in there.
And also our prep for travel has gotten a lot better, and we figured out how to make it work. I'm very sensitive to noises, and the pets can sometimes drive me crazy. Bowser is a little too smart, and the morning of travel days, he knows something is up because things are starting to get packed up, and he's out taking care of flushing and stuff. So we've gotten that better by doing the pack up the night before as much as we can, even the flushing of the the sewage systems. So yeah, we're packing things up, we're getting dishes done, we're doing the flushing the night before, so the morning of we're quickly able to wrap up the last few things and get on the road. So that has made a huge difference.
It's nicer when you get to your next spot earlier on in the day, because you know you're not like, because our first time out, you know, it was starting to get dark out when we were trying to set up, and that was really stressful. And you know, kind of flashlight out there trying to figure everything out in our first time, so we don't know what we're doing. Well, just getting there earlier in the day to our next location is definitely a help. And then you can have more time to relax in the evening. You can de-stress because it's a stressful day. You know, I'm towing our house. I'm focusing really hard on the road and paying attention because I do not want to mess things up and get into an accident or run something over, and then we have to send this in to get fixed. And so that can be pretty stressful. So having more time later in the day to de-stress and relax is very helpful.
Yeah, and I'm usually a little tired because the cats hate travel. I'm gonna transition to the pets now. Pets are doing pretty well. We are gonna do a separate video for RVing with cats and RVing with dogs, so watch for that. But overall, the pets have done really well. That's been actually another surprise at how well they've adapted. I think they actually enjoy this life. The dogs, I think, have a better experience than they had before. Now there are dog parks. We didn't have a yard in our last house. It was a townhouse, there was an open green area, but they had to be on a leash. Now they get to be in new dog parks, have new smells, and we can take them off the leash and they can run around in the fence area. It's like we have a new yard.
Yeah, first thing in the morning when I take them out, they're dragging me to the dog park. We're running there. So yeah, they're really enjoying the dog parks.
And super pleased with the cats too. Like, my big excitement has been that our boy cat Link has discovered the bunk beds and is finally comfortable enough to jump up there. Our cat Zelda, like, immediately was all about that, all up in it. We have a bunk bed on either side of our bunkhouse, and she can very easily, nimbly jump up, I think even from the ground, onto the bunk. And there are windows for each, so it's perfect for her little perch. And she'll go flying from one bunk across the room to the other. She's nuts. But finally, like, Link has figured out he can do it too. So I see him up there and they snuggle together. So I feel like now they have kind of their nice hidey space, and it kind of extends the area they have in here. Because we don't take them out like we do with the dogs. We tried a couple times. They hated the backpack. They hated the little bubble backpack. When we first started this experience, Zelda snuck out I think 2 or 3 times. Yeah,
one time she actually saw, there's another cat, I think she kind of took off after. And then once I yelled at her, she's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be out here.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So we're like, do we even want them to get used to being outside? We're very conscious now of closing the door behind us, making sure that doesn't happen again. And we haven't had an issue since. So they're fine in here, and we're glad that they've found spaces that make life interesting for them and make this a good experience for them too. But yeah, they do hate traveling though. And I have learned to give just a very little bit, like a couple bites of food in the morning, because Link will throw it up and make it a very unpleasant experience in the car ride. So that's gone better. Not too much barking either from the dogs. We do have to correct them, but I was worried they'd be just barking all the time, and I don't think so. We haven't gotten any complaints anyway. So that's been going well too. Another area we wanted to touch on was laundry. In the last video we did, Brian had mentioned that we had just started doing laundry outside the house because we finally, in the process of selling the house, couldn't go in and do it there anymore. And he had done it in a laundromat. Since then, we've pretty much had good luck right at the park. Sometimes it's a little bit more expensive, so we do try to watch what the price is and try to time it right. At Brian's favorite park, Tom Sawyer, it was actually free.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's never happened again. That was a unicorn. So
yeah,
I don't know, we're still hoping.
Like, as per, you know, we head back that direction. Could we at least just stop at Tom Sawyer so we can do laundry?
Yeah, it's like no, but it's a nice park anyway, so we'll probably be back. But yeah, we look if we can get laundry at $1.50 a wash and a dry. That's fantastic, which probably still seems like a lot, but some parks have been as high as I think $3.50, $4.
Yeah,
it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, the higher end parks, the higher ones that we went to, yes, it was pricey to do laundry.
And it really stinks if you are at one of those parks and it doesn't dry all the way.
Yeah.
Inevitably, we decide just to bring it back and let it air dry. We just hang it all around here.
Yeah, it gets mostly dry in the dryer, and then we'll just hang it somewhere to dry the rest of the way, because you do not want to spend another $3 just to dry your clothes.
And we're doing multiple loads.
Yeah.
Because we, usually we wait for a little while and then we each have stuff, and then we'll wash dog towels or blankets and our own towels, so. We also like to talk about how we plan to invest in our experience every month and how that really has not happened, but it's still our plan. Like, we did invest in artlist.io to add music. You may notice that we now have music in our videos, and we do want to invest in an updated editing software program. iMovie is what we're using right now, and it's functional, but we could definitely do better, as well as probably some updated camera equipment.
Yeah. You're just starting off, you got a little makeshift stuff where you're keeping things still and everything, so yeah.
Just get it started.
Yeah, we'll upgrade our YouTube capabilities soon. But we did invest in new mattresses.
Well, the same mattress.
Same mattress, but what, pillow top?
Yeah, pillow top, mattress, pad, which has made a difference.
Yeah.
We were pretty uncomfortable for a while. And I did have to get a new folding table. I don't remember what happened to the last one. I think it broke.
Yeah.
It was old. And then a nice chair for the office. I actually have really embraced the bunkhouse as my office space. I think at the time of one of our last updates, I was like, over here. That doesn't happen. This is his space, which is wonderful. Usually he has his desktop here and his laptop here. And great, we do eat here and obviously do videos sometimes and stuff here, but the bunkhouse has really become my space. Brian keeps talking about different things he wants to do with actually decorating around here. I'm always nervous about altering things, but we plan to keep this RV, I think, and run it into the ground. So I just need to chill. And I think we already mentioned that we want to get bikes too. That's a big update. And then finally, do we have any overall regrets with choosing this lifestyle? What do you think?
No regrets.
No regrets.
No. It's been pretty awesome. You know, we're getting to travel around, see things, experience things that most people say someday I would like to do that. Like, I'll go do that someday. Oh, when I retire, I'm going to do that too. But we decided we were going to hit the road sooner rather than later, and it's been phenomenal. And get to experience so many new things.
Yeah, I think there's certain people who love this like nomad or gypsy like lifestyle, and if you're like me and you were living in like a stationary place and just getting more and more depressed, truly, like I say, make this happen. I don't want to say this was like a piece of cake, easy thing for us. It was in our minds on and off for I think 2 or 3 years before we finally pulled the trigger. And we actually made a shift like last minute. We had been thinking about moving to Texas and thinking about moving to California, and then Brian brought this up again. I think it was originally your idea, surprisingly, because I'm more of the travel bug, but he's really into it. So we were like, yeah, like we already had these other crazy ideas. I'm already able to work remotely. You're able to work in different locations. Let's just do it. And made it happen. And now that we see how much we love it, we decided like no matter what happens, we have to keep this. We have to make sure this happens, that we keep this lifestyle. Like, I'm not going back. I look at like other people and I'm like, how can you just stay in one place? But everybody's different, and so that's why I say, if you're like us and you like moving around a lot, some people don't. If you like, traveling, road trips, experiences, gotta try it. Rent an RV, whatever it takes to get your feet in and make it work.
All right, so that wraps up our update on our 6-month adventure. 7-month adventure, right? So far in our RV, and a few questions that you all have had. So if you have any other questions for us, then leave them in the comments and we'll address them. We'll answer you. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. We're starting to grow now and it's really exciting. So we appreciate everybody who's subscribing to us and taking a look at what we're doing.
See you again soon.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Quite a blah, blah, blah. All right.
Okay. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Repeat.
What?
We want to end this thing.
That's it? That's all?
That's it.
Okay.
No, that's not what I want to say.